There was one other movie that made me sob this year very, very hard, and that was Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is another one of those guys. The Whale, directed by Darren Aronofsky, starring Brendan Fraser, Sadie Sink, Ty Simpkins, as well as Chau. This movie I just saw in theaters today. I actually just came from 11 o'clock a.m. showing. Let's get into it. The plot of this movie, we are going through a man who is essentially trying to rekindle with his daughter due to some things that went wrong in the past. Through this, we get the view of this man named Charlie or Charles, and he is a recluse. He lives in his apartment. He's alone for most of the time, eating away at different things and just kind of indulging in this loneliness that he's going through. So pretty much we're given the perspective of him trying to rekindle this relationship with his daughter. Now, what are my thoughts on this movie? I obviously have to point out, as social media has seen and talked about, the performance from Brendan Fraser is absolutely groundbreaking. This is a performance that I have not seen from anyone else in a long time on a level of emotion and really harnessing the character that was on the script that was brought to him. There are scenes in this movie that are definitely hard to watch, a little bit, you feel the pain for him. You feel the pain for this character. And it's a very, very well acted character by Brendan Fraser. There were scenes in this movie, specifically the third act, where I'm just sobbing, just from his honesty and his total selflessness as this character. And I won't go into too much plot details. I don't want to get into spoilers or anything, but the way he conveys himself from the beginning to the end of the movie is very cathartic, very, very cathartic. Now let's talk about Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink, she plays her role very, very well in this movie. She plays Charlie's daughter, as well as this daughter who essentially hates her father. She doesn't like him. This may be due to some time that they might have lost, or some decisions that he made in the past. But she doesn't like him whatsoever, and this is very, very clear. Sadie Sink has this role. She does very, very well. She does great. There were scenes in this where you hate her character. You don't like Sadie Sink's character in this movie at most of the time. In regards to Ty Simpkins as Thomas in this film, he's a bit of a side character. His role was interesting to me. I didn't really find any thing wrong with his character, I guess. There were a few moments where his acting might have been a bit shallow in some more important scenes. Like I thought the delivery should have been a little bit better. But in regards to his character, it served its purpose. And he was definitely a very well-rounded character. Moving on to Chau. She plays Liz in this movie, and she is almost equally as astounding as Fraser is. Liz being this person that comes and takes care of him without giving too much plot details away. She comes and takes care of him every once in a while, feeds him, brings him food, helps him walk around, helps him get up to use the bathroom. And her character is absolutely great. She has fantastic dialogue scenes in this movie, and it really, really helps drive the narrative of this film. This film is very driven by the performances by the actors in this movie. That I will say. Brendan Fraser, he carries this movie on his back, and he absolutely does a fantastic job at doing so, while the supporting characters are just as equally, if not almost as good as he is. And now moving on to I guess a more important part of the movie that I wanted to talk about, which is, I guess, essentially the plot device that Darren Aronofsky used for conveying his character. You can see online on Twitter and whatnot that there are some opinions based on this movie due to it being called The Whale and promoting fat phobia and et cetera, which is obviously a very sensitive topic. And I do think that in the script there were some choices that were questionable. I don't think they provided any value to the plot or character that Fraser was playing. It would be either little quips or jokes or just things said that kind of catered towards that fat phobia term, I guess, that people are using to describe the film. Personally, do I think it is centered around that? No. I think if we're looking at Fraser's character as a character on paper, There may be an issue with him, using this character as a whale, as a bigger person, a heavyweight person. Using that, there may be issues. You could have conveyed the theme of this film with a different plot device, essentially, is what I think. So the fact that Darren Aronofsky chose to use that as a director is a bit questionable in just some spots of the script that I was seeing. But Fraser, on the other hand, that's not a reflection of his performance in this movie. He takes this character that he's given on paper and absolutely brings it to life. He does just absolutely fantastic in this movie. I can't explain how many times that he absolutely blows me away. Absolutely. Besides that, I will say that the tone of the movie is very, very, very sorrow. It's a very sorrow film. I didn't really have times where I was, happy throughout the film, unfortunately. There were bits and moments where you would laugh, but then it would be shortly followed by the struggle of Fraser's character, which would then obviously make it, hard to smile at because he's struggling. Like, for instance, he would laugh and then start choking on, whatever he was eating at the time, or just choking in general. In regards to that, that aspect of the film was a bit hard to go through, but I definitely found myself throughout this movie crying pretty freaking hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very emotional movie, driven by very, very emotional characters. Do I think this is a good movie? Hands down, it's a good movie. Very, very good movie. Is it worth your time? I definitely think you should go see it. It's worth your time if you are very into kind of a character study as well. I think these would be great characters to look at and kind of see different aspects about them, and it's definitely worth your time to watch The Whale, I would definitely say. Also, I did want to note this is based on a stage play by Samuel D. Hunter, I believe is his name, and at times the film really does feel like a stage play, considering that we're set in this space of his apartment for pretty much the entirety of the film. It does play out like a stage play, and different camera cuts that Aronofsky chooses to use, as well as the lines that are in the film. You could kind of get the feel that if this were to be acted out in a live setting or a stage play, this would definitely be how it would look. And also to mind that it didn't feel like we were in one place at the whole time at all. That was actually something I noticed driving home from the movie, and I thought that was really good because having one set location could get easily boring. But in this, I was completely engaged the whole time and honestly didn't even realize we were still there. In regards to that, I don't really have any other complaints about the movie, just besides of the choice of Darren Aronofsky to kind of use the whale as a plot character. And just kind of his way of going about it through some script choices and directing choices. I think he could have done a different path on that, essentially. But besides that, I definitely enjoyed The Whale. I definitely think it's worth your time. Brendan Fraser, he gives one of the absolute best performances this year. If you guys have seen The Whale, I would love to know what you think down in the comments below. Do you like The Whale? Did you see it? What is your take on it? Me personally, I loved the film. I loved Brendan Fraser's performances. I think Darren Aronofsky as a director is still a great director. I loved Requiem for a Dream. I thought that was a very great film. And in regards to this film, we have some great performances from great actors. And I think Brendan Fraser, if he doesn't get the Oscar for it, it's rigged. Let me know what you guys think. Like and comment down below. Please do subscribe. This is the second video on the channel. I still have to do a general channel video for you guys, essentially, but I definitely want to get that out soon. I was just very eager to get this review out because I wanted to talk about how great Fraser's performance was in this movie. But thanks you guys so much. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will catch you on the next review or reaction. Peace.